of our national anthem.
Almost set then for the second game on the North Stadium field here at the Keno Sports Complex. The third game of this first day of the 2015 Desert Diamond Cup. Seattle Sounders against the host side FC Tucson. Richard Fleming alongside Matt Gashk. And this is, well, even for a pre-season game, it is a David against Goliath. We look at the Seattle Sounders starting 11. Take us through it, Matt, because this is a very strong side that Ziggy Schmidt's put out.
Well, if you look at this team, it's very similar to the one that they fielded in the Western Conference Final last year against the LA Galaxy. You got Stephen Fry starting in goal, Tyrone Mears, the birthday boy, starting at right back, Chad Marshall and Brad Evans, the new center back pair for Seattle, and Leo Gonzalez on the left side. In the midfield, Gonzalo Pineda and Michael Azira in the middle, flanked by Marco Papa and Lamar Nagel. And then the forward pair of Clint Dempsey and Obafemi Martins should be an interesting night, to say the least, for FC Tucson there in the back.
Well, it's interesting to see what the whole squad are gathered round there. Was that Brad Evans, I think, was leading the charge there with the players and the coaching staff. There's a real solidity and a togetherness with this Seattle side up against an FC Tucson team that is as follows. Not so many household names. Pat Poblet in goal. The back four of Ian Ramos, Sebastian Pineda, Shadi Harb and Dominic Papa. Midfield of Elliot Prost, Michael Kafari, Edgar Reyna and Andreas Acosta. And up top, Garrett Losi and O'Dane Sinclair. There's a decent crowd in tonight. There's plenty of green, and the Rave Green are here in decent numbers as well.
You'll find that, I think, anywhere you go in the country anymore. They travel well and have little pockets of fans anywhere around the country.
Adrian Hanover as well. I just seen her taking his seat just beneath us as FC Tucson get us underway, kicking from left to right in this first 45. The earlier game on this field ended 2-2. Colorado Rapids against Sporting Kansas City. The Rapids taking a 2-goal lead at half-time. 2 goals in 90 seconds for Sporting KC, and the Rapids reduced to 10 men. It finished 2-2. There's fans watching on SoundersFC.com. Huge expectations, as there will always be at the start of this 2015. Ziggy Schmidt was at a gathering of coaches and a few players, select players last night, and I overheard he was talking to a reporter, and the question was put to him, the expectation level, the pressure, and he said, well, it just comes with the territory. It comes with the territory. You've got a huge following, a massive support from ownership. There is a lot of expectation, the big names, and there is that pressure to deliver. Last year, 2 out of the 3 Supporter Shield and US Open Cup, just missed out on the MLS Cup.
I'd venture to guess they probably would have traded those 2 for an MLS Cup. That's the one that's eluded them to this point.
But yeah, and I imagine for that very reason, because I've had this debate As we're into the first couple of minutes here, no score so far. I've had this debate with folk that, for me, as you can probably tell from my accent, but supporters' shield, which gives you that. As you watch this early attack, floated in. In fact, it was had a bit more pace on it than at first glance. But that supporters' shield, where it shows the sustainability over a season, as opposed to a playoff run. I think that, for me, and it's just a personal opinion, speaks more for the quality and the depth as you're going through March and April and May and all the way through to October. Testing the depth of your roster, playing on the road at some tough places, difficult conditions. But 2 or 3 bits of silverware up for grabs. Sounders got 2 of them. Maybe 2015 will be finally their year, but it is, Matt, 2015 is going to be a tough year for anybody. I know there are now 6 places in each conference, but you've added depth and you've added quality. Some more big names, some teams coming in. They're hungry. Some of those that are smarting from 2014. There's more pressure. Obafemi Martins miskicking that one.
And certainly Seattle, you can count as one of those. Even with those 2 championships, I think they come out of that year with such an empty feeling because, one, it felt like the MLS Cup was right on their doorstep. And having the opportunity to potentially host that game at CenturyLink Field would have been a great opportunity for this team, for the city of Seattle, and to have that taken away so kind of dramatically, I would say, by LA. LA just rolling through playoffs year after year. And they've really kind of mastered that ability to do what you need to do in the regular season to get yourself into the playoffs, get yourself in good position, and then let it roll from there once you hit October and November.
Some good work down the right-hand side. Martin's in a bit of space, so they tucked that one away nicely. Lamar Nagel has opened the scoring 4 minutes in. Completely wrong-footed Poblet, and FC Tucson are already down to Seattle Sounders inside the first 5 minutes. Lamar Nagel with the opening goal.
A homegrown kid from Federal Way. If you're from Seattle, if you're from that area, you can't help but be proud of this kid, what he's accomplished, the path that he's taken to get where he's gotten. And 9 goals, 9 assists last year, both career highs for Lamar, and a good start to him already this preseason.
This could be a long night for FC Tucson. The part-timers. And not only that, a number of them are out of their season. Dempsey back to Martins. Oh, that was just sweet. And we see that week after week after week with those 2. It's that sixth sense that Dempsey and Martins have, and they're not even looking. They're not even looking at where the other player is. You just know where a good player is going to make a good run. And we saw that very much so there with Obafemi Martins and Clint Dempsey. Very nearly made it 2-0.
That took almost the entirety of last season for them to truly develop that, and to see them, again, just kind of taking the opponent into account. But to see that this early has got to be encouraging for Ziggy Schmidt and for fans up in Seattle.
Has that been mastered on the turf at CenturyLink Field? Because that can really undo a side. Crisp passing that finds feet when you've got a defense that's twisting and turning on that kind of surface, on any kind of surface.
Well,
but
right.
that crisp, knowing that it's going to be a true pass.
Mm-hmm. It's a different place to play up there, and when you get accustomed to that, when you're playing not only your 17 home games, but throw in your games at Portland, your games at Vancouver, when you're getting a good chunk of your games on that turf, it plays differently, and there's a definite advantage to that with those 3 teams up there in the Northwest.
So the only breakthrough then for Seattle Sounders. Lamar Nagel tucking that one away, right-footed into the bottom left-hand corner. Offside against Marco Papa. I saw one of the best goals of 2014 from Marco Papa at Dick's Sporting Goods Park.
Some magic. He just danced on that ball, didn't he?
Beautiful. Chipped the ball over the top of Clint Owen. It was just delivered with such confidence. A player who was prepared to try the unthinkable. Well, you've got the confidence that the Sounders had at that point coursing through your veins. You're going to try things that the opposition just don't expect.
I made this comparison last year, and I'm surprised they weren't able to carry it through as much as they had. But the Miami Fusion team from that really their last season was very similar. They just played with such flair and passion, and they made the game so much fun. Seattle went on a run late last season that really felt like that Miami Fusion team did.
There you go, the goal scorer. Jumped up on Obafemi Martins there. Referee allows play to continue. Sounders bring the ball away. That one not quite in tune on that occasion, Dempsey and Martins. Going to be rolled back to the keeper. Marshall and Evans at central defensive pairing. Mears at right back for the Sounders in this first half. We're expecting changes. A little look away pass there from Clint Dempsey. I don't think that was intended for Papa on that occasion. More for Mears, who was making the overlapping run. Birthday boy, 32 years of age today, Tyrone Mears.
Interesting story with him, too. He came in to train with the Sounders late last year. I don't know if they just weren't able to get a deal done or if they were looking at him as a possibility to replace DeAndre Yedlin when he left. But now he's here. He's penciled into that starting lineup right now in that right back spot, and I know they've got other options as well. If Brad Evans decides that central defense isn't his cup of tea, he's played all over the field. He's played every position in the outfield for Seattle in his 6 years with the team. And now he's in there starting next to his longtime friend Chad Marshall. It's going to be interesting to see how the Seattle defense shakes out over the course of the season, because I know that's a spot of concern for Garth Lagerwey when he moved over from Real Salt Lake.
And that is the challenge, isn't it? Even for the successful teams, it's how do you get stronger? How do you keep just moving forward? You see Tucson on the charge at the other end, Stephen Fry. Taking 2 attempts to clutch at that one, but he does so. It's the successful sides that strengthen from a position of strength. And again, that's sometimes tougher to try and identify in a strong side, arguably where your weaknesses are, if that makes sense. If you're a successful side, where are the chinks? Where are the little gaps and holes?
It is really tough to say that Seattle has struggled defensively, particularly with the year Chad Marshall had last year. But if you were to say there was a weakness to this team, they did give up goals in bunches last year.
Sinclair muscled out on that occasion by Marshall. We did have a phenomenal 2014. Ten minutes gone then. Seattle Sounders leading by a goal to nil. Lamar Nagel with that opening strike after just 4 minutes. Obafemi Martins also with a wonderful chance following some lovely intricate work with Clint Dempsey down the middle. Dempsey involved again. And Martins. Dempsey back to Martins. Martins looking for Dempsey. Takes the touch! And there's number 2. Seattle Sounders straight through the middle. Like going through the eye of a needle there, just threading their way through, and Seattle, 11 minutes gone, and it's that pairing of Obafemi Martins and Clint Dempsey, and Dempsey makes it 2.
They started with the ball at midfield, and only 3 players touched the ball. Start with Gonzalo Pineda. He works with Obafemi Martins well. Oba and Clint going back and forth. And when you got those 2 coming at you, I don't care if you've been a 10-year MLS veteran or youngsters like these guys with FC Tucson. That's tough to defend. And someday those guys will be able to say they played against Obafemi Martins and Clint Dempsey, and that'll be a good feather in their cap, a good story to tell their children.
Well, they'll not be the first, and they'll certainly not be the last to succumb to the pairing of Obafemi Martins and Clint Dempsey, but there's a chance at the other end, and this is fallen nicely, and it is sprayed wide of the mark by Ian Ramos. Sat up, and maybe he just saw their headlines. A real chance there to get one back, and Ramos has sent one wide. It all started from Sinclair, was played on side, got away down this near side, this right hand side, and caused a bit of confusion with his low drive into the penalty area. Seemed to be a hole on the edge of the penalty area for Ramos. And, he'll want that one back. He should have got that one on frame, certainly. Yeah, going back to the Clint Dempsey Obafemi Martins combination. It was early last season. Lamar Nagel was involved as well, and it was just that trio. And they just very cleverly, and it's very difficult for defenders to defend against it when they are just rotating. You're never knowing who is going to be the two up top. Is it Nagel and Martins? Is it Nagel and Dempsey? Is it Dempsey and Martins? Who's going to drop in the hole? Who's going to follow them? Who's going to take responsibility? And on that occasion, that was against the Rapids. That was a big win for Seattle Sounders, and some great goals. Some goals again involving Obafemi Martins and Clint Dempsey. Defenders just do not like backing away from a ball with their back to goal, having to face the player. And that's what these two have become very good at doing, and it's the intelligence of Dempsey and Martins, playing in some of the best leagues in the world. And Lamar Nagel can only learn, as he is absolutely doing.
And he's a smart enough guy, too. He knows to get them the ball and then get yourself into space. And that creates so many opportunities, not only for himself, but for Clint Nova as well.
So not even 15 minutes gone, and already there's been plenty of action, certainly at that left-hand end. A little scare for the Sounders just a few moments ago. Ian Ramos of FC Tucson blazing wide when he had a very, very good chance. The Sounders doing very well at getting numbers behind the ball as well. You can see all the jerseys, the rave green jerseys in front. Going to thread their way through, almost sneak through there.
Ramos maybe a bit inspired by Clint Dempsey and Obafemi Martins, trying to back heel of himself there.
I think as an FC Tucson player, you are just going to try and enjoy yourself here. Free kick. About 30, a little over 30 yards out.
I think that's a good sign for Tyrone Mears as well. Getting in there, this is a physical league, Major League Soccer, and showing that he's not afraid to shy away from contact. That's a good sign for Seattle, for Ziggy Schmidt and the Seattle defense.
First of 4 games for these two sides. The next 2 opponents they know about. A week on Saturday, that opponent for all sides is yet to be determined. So a free kick to be taken by Shadi Harb. He's gone for goal, you know. And Stefan Fry just watched that one. Could have kicked up off the surface, misbehaved. A little bit of afters there.
Can't say we haven't seen that from Clint Dempsey in the past either.
Play continues. Evans to Mears. On the far side. The main stand on this near side. I'm having a look. It's doesn't look to be too many spare seats. The third and final game of this opening day of the 2015 Desert Diamond Cup here in Tucson, Arizona. Keno North Stadium at the Keno Sports Complex. Earlier today on this very same field, Colorado Rapids 2, Sporting Kansas City 2. And Sporting KC next up for the Sounders on Saturday. That'll be a 7 p.m. Pacific time kickoff on the same Keno North Stadium. So that's the last game of the day on Saturday. Then next Wednesday against New England Revolution, 5 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. local time. And that'll be on the Keno North Grandstand Stadium, which is just over our shoulder.
Seattle's been practicing on that field as well, so a little bit of familiarity. It's a little bit of a different feel over there. A converted baseball field, so a little bit of different sight lines, things like that, that players need to get used to.
Drop short of its intended target from Pineda. Azera back to Marshall. Threads that one through. Couldn't quite find Dempsey. He's got Dominic Papa for company, the captain of FC Tucson tonight. Yeah, it's intriguing for those that have not had a chance to attend these pre-season tournaments. As all of the teams training, well, that's going to have a go there from all of, what, 55, 60 yards?
Say one thing about Marco Papa, he's daring for sure.
And the vision to see Pat Poblet off his line. Didn't quite have the backlift or the power. Nagel is getting his skates on down this near side. Skip over. Just Obafemi Martins in the middle, runs it out of play. Goal kick to FC Tucson. Yeah, the MLS teams and FC Tucson training side by side. And it's amazing how many of the players know each other, have played on the same side, have been in the league long enough that there's a lot of camaraderie in there. Very similar locker rooms as well, side by side. So I was waiting outside one the other day, and there's players asking for other players from other locker rooms, and there's high fives. There's a lot of history. And of course, once they put on their jersey and get out on the field, the friendship and all of that good nature is put to one side.
For as large as this country is, and as many players that play soccer around the world, you find that it's one of the smaller worlds that you could be a part of.
Absolutely.
Especially when you involve someone like Ziggy Schmidt, who's coached at so many different levels, and youth national teams and some of the better teams in MLS history. He knows players, knows coaches, he's coached against people, and he's got a memory like a steel trap.
He told a lovely story last night, which I will let me get a little break in play. There was a question and answer session at a function to launch the Desert Diamond Cup. And there was a panel, all players, 2 or 3 players from each side, and all the head coaches were there last night. As we just watched this free kick, Edgar Reyna will take. Just over 20 minutes gone in this first half. Seattle Sounders leading by 2-0. Lamar Nagel and Clint Dempsey with the goals. Cross from that right-hand side, very nearly. And it's gone out for a goal kick. They've had their moments, FC Tucson.
They really have, and a little better quality, and they may be able to put those away. Some of that's going to be involved with this being a PDL squad, but they're going to pick up some of those things along the way, pick up a little confidence, and some of these players you could see, you could hear from some point in the future.
Well, again, it's a showcase for these guys, isn't it? Putting themselves in the shop window. And they don't come much bigger in Major League Soccer than Seattle Sounders FC. And this story last night The MC asked Siggy Schmidt the question, in all of your years, and he belonged to FC Tucson, I think general manager, and he'd said that down the years he'd overlooked DeAndre Yedlin in his time and had a chance when he was coming through as a youngster. And he said to Ziggy, is there any player, is there a player in your past that you've passed over and they've come back to haunt you, or they've gone on to be big names? And he told the story of when he was at UCLA and he'd been advised to go and... Have you heard this story
Absolutely,
before?
Yeah.
And he'd been advised to go and see a young goalkeeper at high school called Nick Raimondo, who of course is doing fantastically well at Real Salt Lake and the US national side. And he went to this game, two teams just setting up, and he discovered that there was not a Nick Raimondo on either side. And he thought, well, I'm at the game, I might as well stick around and watch it. And he ended up discovering a young man called Carlos Bocanegra. So it wasn't a wasted journey after all.
You'd wonder what might have been had he gone to the right game. Would Carlos Bocanegra have ended up at UCLA and ended up being the player he was?
Offside given. Garrett Losey, the assistant on this near side, just waiting to see if Losey is going to get any connection with the ball.
Nick Raimondo in a long line of successful goalkeepers Ziggy had at UCLA as well. And Ziggy said he never recruited a goalkeeper under 6 feet tall, so Nick Raimondo, who's all of about 5'9", was listed as 6 feet tall in the UCLA program. And Nick's defense was that he was recruited as a forward. I don't know that anyone believes him. He did play some forward in his younger days, but...
He's carved out a decent career as a goalkeeper. What a phenomenal goalkeeper. As you say, bearing in mind the height. You look at the goalkeepers these days, 6'4", 6'5".
2 MLS Cup titles for Nick Raimondo, 115 career shutouts, an MLS record.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
He's okay with being 5'9", I think.
I think because of the other attributes, his timing, his anticipation, his agility, his understanding of the game. Martins, a little heavy from Dempsey, was leaning away from the ball. Look at the green jerseys surrounding FC Tucson's Michael Afari. Does eventually get the ball away. At far side. .25 minutes gone on MLSsoccer.com and SoundersFC.com. The Sounders leading by 2-0. That man scoring the second, Clint Dempsey. Lamar Nagel, who's just making a run through the middle, trying to be found by Obafemi Martins, getting the first. FC Tucson have had well, one very good chance and another decent chance, maybe go as far to say a half chance, maybe a little bit more than that, since going 2-0 down. Dempsey, Papa's on his way. Nagel, Martins just checking. 2 bodies in the middle. Back to Obafemi Martins. Papa, Dempsey back to goal. Needing some support. Mears on the inside right channel. Good charge down there. And Papa, Dominic Papa, back to Dempsey. Dempsey again. Looking for Martins, didn't quite get through to the Nigerian. Did take a deflection though, and it will be a corner kick.
For as good as Seattle is in the open field, once they get packed into that tight space and 25 yards in, that's where they really start to struggle, where they maybe need to pick up a little bit of, they tend to do a little more ball watching there. They get the ball to Clint Noba and kind of expect things to happen. And sometimes they need to do a little bit more, particularly when you get later into a half like they are right now.
Trying to find Pineda on the edge of the penalty area, didn't quite get through. Dempsey is onside according to the assistant, and that is number 3. Protest from FC Tucson. Question marks as to whether others were offside, but certainly the flag stayed down and the goal will stand. 27 minutes gone. Dempsey's grabbed his second, Seattle's third, and it is 3-0. We've not reached the half-hour mark yet.
May have been Lamar Nagel on that one as well. Good finish either way, but yeah, once you see that those defenders start to wait for that call and it never comes, tough position you put your goalkeeper in at that point.
And there was 3 of them, they were queuing up. Not sure whether they tried to step up to play a tight offside, but it's a dangerous game to play. 3 jerseys piling forward. That's just made FC Tucson's job a little tougher. 2-0 down with the chances that they had. You thought, well, maybe could get something before the break. The Sounders start the season, the regular season, with 2 home games. Home to New England Revolution, the side they play next Wednesday. Won't be too long before those 2 meeting again in the regular season. March 8th, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, that game kicks off. And then 6 days later, San Jose come to town, CenturyLink Field. There's a 7 p.m. kickoff. The first road game, March 28th. It's a toughie, heading to face FC Dallas. Nice. Try again. Papa, some running to do, won't keep that one in.
You mentioned that start with the New England Revolution, a good, strong finish to the year for them, and like so many other teams, finished in defeat to the LA Galaxy. But bringing back Jermaine Jones, bringing back all those pieces that were so clutch for them late in the season, adding Juan Agudelo to that mix. They've got a pretty potent attack, does New England.
Yeah, that's going to be an intriguing contest. You have to hit your straps early. No chance to breathe with some of these fixtures.
And really such a showcase for the league as well, to be able to open at CenturyLink Field like they have every year over the course of their 6 seasons.
The other big game that weekend, in fact that day, March the 8th, is Orlando City against NYCFC at the Citrus Bowl in Florida. The 2 new franchises to Major League Soccer. They are pushing and pushing and pushing Orlando for a sellout. That will be a phenomenal crowd to witness some big stars, certainly if you've got Kaká and David Villa. Gonzalez for the Sounders. Nagel. Pineda. Martin's trying to just scoop that through. The orange jersey racing from his line. Poblet. Ramos is a lone man at the moment. There's not too many jerseys around him, and he gets the free kick. There's going to be a yellow card here shown. That's going to go. Tyrone Mears?
Tyrone Mears, right.
Happy birthday.
Someone had to give him a card, right? Probably a smart play there by him, though, to thwart that attack. I don't know how much he would have been able to get 2-on-4 in that situation, but Tyrone taking all the question out of it.
It's comfortably dealt with by Chad Marshall there. Into the last 15 minutes of the first half. The Sounders 3 to the good. Dempsey with 2. Lamar Nagel getting us up and running as early as the 4th minute. So SoundersFC.com for tickets to those opening games. 2 home games to start for the Sounders. New England Revolution and San Jose, and they're going to have spring in their step this season. The Quakes, new head coach in Dominic Kinnear, brand new stadium, which I saw Jurgen Klinsmann drove past it and was impressed. That just gives you as a player, I imagine, you want to play in those kind of arenas. Be intrigued to see how they try and replicate the atmosphere they achieved at Buckshaw Stadium, which I know, talking to players, visiting players, could be quite intimidating. The crowd were nice and close. See if they're going to try and replicate that at their new stadium.
For as unique as CenturyLink Field is in its kind of massive atmosphere, Buckshaw was kind of similar in its confined spaces and another kind of unique stadium. You know, your locker rooms are 200 or 300 yards from the field. It's a really different place to play, and like you said, interesting to see if they'll be able to replicate some of that advantage in Avaya Stadium.
Ramos, 3 players around him, manages to find some space, finds Sinclair. Using his might and his muscle, Sinclair. He wanted to carry on his good work on this near side. Rayner. Picked up in centre field. Sounders backing off. Martins and Dempsey staying up top. Rayner once again. Back to Dominic Papa. Ramos trying to collect, just wouldn't quite fall his way. Sinclair getting stuck in a little tug there from Papa. Referee allows play to continue. And now does fall to Marco Papa and bring the ball away. Martins stays in his own half. Straight offside, just about half a step on that occasion. Ironic cheers from the home crowd.
RNACPA is the proud sponsor of FC Tucson. RNA has been serving Tucson and Southern Arizona for 70 years. This is one of our community's original public accounting firms. RNA specializes in tax, accounting, and assurance services.
So 2 games prior to this for the Sounders. UCLA on February 4th. It was a 5-0 victory. They shared the goals around as well. Martins, Nagel, Barrett, Cooper and Azera. So debuts for Mears, Perkins and Jones. And a couple of days later, a defeat against LA Galaxy 2-1. Nagel in on goal. Can he make it 4? No, he can't. Last-ditch challenge there from Edgar Rayner, just toe poking it wide. A goal kick, in fact. Lamar Nagel suggesting either that he was fouled, or it should at least have been a corner kick. But, pull the trigger, Lamar Nagel. He just delayed his shot. Sinclair will drive that one in low.
Nagel certainly looking for the penalty on the other end. I don't know that was a foul, and Lamar certainly did, though.
Rayner. Pineda. Dominic Papa. Trying to build once again. FC Tucson 3-0 down. 2 goals for Dempsey, 1 for Lamar Nagel. He should have had it second as well just a few moments ago. Martins. Dempsey. Nagel finding some space on this near side. Dempsey cutting inside. Martins going down the left channel. Nagel trying to find Clint Dempsey on the edge of the penalty area. Papa to Dempsey. Finds Mears. Back to Papa. Collects once again. Dempsey's just inside. Heads go up. Only half cleared. This one's going to be a drive at goal. Dragged and ricocheted. whoops and screams from the home crowd. Danger not fully cleared, and there is number 4. Easy does it. The hat-trick for Clint Dempsey, ghosting in at the far post. FC Tucson standing and staring. That is 4-0, 37 minutes gone. He's back 3, here's Clint Dempsey.
Tyrone Mears gets in up that right side. I spoke with Ziggy Schmidt earlier today, and he talked about how much Tyrone Mears likes to get forward, and he does it in a much different way than DeAndre Edlin did before. He gets up, gets forward, and looks to be a playmaker with the ball in getting crosses into the box. Compares favorably to James Riley, the way he used to play in Seattle as well, in that James really looked to get those crosses in, and Tyrone, there you see it just now, gets that great ball into the back post, and Clint Dempsey, easy enough, just taps it in.
It's that in anticipation as a striker, and the good ones, they can stand motionless, and it's just over that first 2 or 3 yards making that decision to go. That's exactly what Dempsey did. Anticipated where the ball was going to be, occupied the space. And there we go, he's showboating now. He's showboating, and it is lovely to see if you're a Sounders fan, but I imagine FC Tucson looking for half-time. 4-0 down. Ifs and buts. Could have been a different story had they taken their chance and half chance that fell their way. Stephen Fry, oh, he's clutched at that one, he's missed it. Here's a chance here. Maybe just a calmer head. Shadi Harb. Stephen Fry, who's not had a great deal to do, clutching at that one. And still they're offering up a few chances. Just a little sniff for FC Tucson from the Sounders.
You know what, I'm sure Ziggy Schmidt, for as much as he'd like to have a nice, easy victory, I'm sure those are good moments for him to be able to point to his team and say, we need to clean this up, we need to clean that up, because that's not going to fly when you get into the MLS season.
Yeah, there are going to be sides that will punish. Dempsey once more, he's scampering through the inside right channel, free kick to the Sounders. It's the third game of the first day of the 2015 Desert Diamond Cup. And, more games to come, 3 more games on Saturday, 3 more next Wednesday, and then the finals weekend. The finals Saturday, the 28th. 5th against 6th, 3rd against 4th, and the championship game, 1st against 2nd, or to determine 1st and 2nd in this year's Desert Diamond Cup. Seattle, LA, Chicago and Sporting KC have all previously won this event. Chicago Fire, the current champions, the 2014 champions, not here this year. Real Salt Lake, New England Revolution, Colorado Rapids, Sporting KC, the other 4 teams.
Salt Lake started against New England earlier on the grandstand and got a early penalty for Devin Sandoval and ended up winning that game 1-0. So Seattle looking to overtake them, I guess, in the standings with a 4-0 lead at this point.
Well, certainly no disrespect to FC Tucson, but some of these sides, the MLS sides, are going to knock each other around, and you may look to a game like this, and goal difference could play a part. They're surging forward once again, 4. They want 5 before the half-time whistle. Into the last 5 minutes here at the Keno North Stadium. 3 goals for Clint Dempsey, 1 goal for Lamar Nagel. Nagel should have made it 4 before Clint Dempsey did, and added his second. Obafemi Martins has had a couple of chances as well. Well, the Sounders did get a test against LA Galaxy in their second game. It was a while ago though. What are we now, 18th? That was on the 6th of February. 12 days ago was their last game. They told they've got another game tomorrow. The the Sounders. So those that don't get a full run out this evening will stretch their legs on Thursday. That game is open to the public, we're told, here in Tucson. There's a great chance, I know, certainly for fans that follow the Sounders. Going to these events, it's a great chance to get up close with your heroes. Clint Dempsey, Obafemi Martins, back to Papa. Martins scampering through. It's a good clean challenge according to the referee. Dominic Papa tidying up at the back there. Mears. Back to Evans. Gonzalez on this near side, peeling away, making space, but Papa is picked out down the far side. Martins in the middle. Lamar Nagel making a run as well. Shot that takes a deflection, and the keeper had to be alert to that one. Just lifted it. And Poblet putting it over for a corner kick.
Such a different dynamic that Pineda brings to that midfield. He's able to take those sneaky little shots that you don't expect, and he takes them with such quickness. Goalkeepers rarely have time to react, and there you almost saw him put one away here.
Pineda with the corner kick then from this near side. Left-footed delivered. Outswinger. Falls to a 0. Offside against Obafemi Martins. So what do you take out of this first half? If you are Ziggy Schmidt, what do you say to your side at half-time? You want it. You've got a clean sheet, but you're going to ask the questions, what if? What if? What if that? What if? There are certain question marks from the first 45.
Right, and you really need to clean up a bit of what they were doing defensively. A lot of what they were giving up was in the counter-attack, and that's what bit them so often last season, was defending that counter-attack. And so many teams in Major League Soccer are so good on the counter-attack that that's somewhere you really need to clean up, especially as you get later into a season. You wouldn't expect to be too crisp on that at this point, but definitely something that Ziggy's going to want to improve as the season bears on.
You have to be disciplined as well as a side. When you're 4-0 up, you think, we all want to have a go. We all want to get in on the act, and there's a real discipline required to stay strong and keep an eye on your job. Surging forward, FC Tucson. His body's in the middle, far post, and that one just sitting behind him. Didn't quite come down. Skied into the Arizona darkness.
Just couldn't get over the top of that one. Good play in from the right side. Good counter-attack. Just wasn't able to get that last ball.
Well, imagine at 4-0 with a hat-trick, Clint Dempsey, we might not see too much more of him in the second half. In possession now, approaching the last 10 seconds of the first 45. Gonzalez to Martins. Dempsey just helped on to Obafemi Martins. Nagel almost fell kindly to the Nigerian, and he wanted it back. Angrily reacting with Lamar Nagel. There is the half-time whistle, and it has been pretty much for most of the 45 one-way traffic. There have, though, been chances for FC Tucson at 1-0, at 2-0, and even at 4-0 down. 3 goals for Clint Dempsey, 1 for Lamar Nagel. Half-time, it is FC Tucson 0, Seattle Sounders 4.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, at halftime, we're going to have a mini soccer game involving the Fort Lowell Soccer Club 06 boys team. They set up a mini field right in front of us. Let's cheer them on. Also, coming your way, in front of the grandstand, mini soccer balls from Carp International. You have choices when researching and selecting your healthcare services. Look for CARP accreditation when comparing providers. CARP accreditation is earned by providers who show commitment to service quality and a focus on the satisfaction of the people they serve. To find CARP accredited providers, visit us online at carf.org. Ladies and gentlemen, mini soccer balls provided by CARP International. A reminder, Bud Light, the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. Come in and try a Culver's Butterburger. Butterburgers are made with 100% U.S. beef, seared on a hot meat box flavor, and served up on a lightly buttered toasted bun. Welcome to Delicious. Soccer fans, the 2015 Desert Diamond Cup is brought to you by Desert Diamond Casinos and Entertainment, Southern Arizona's entertainment destination. Coming live to the Diamond Center are comedian Angela Johnson on March 7th and award-winning multi-platinum country star Tracy Lawrence March 28th. Visit us at dedcdc.com for more information. Thank you, Desert Diamond. a butter burger made from Midwest raised beef and fresh frozen custards using real Wisconsin dairy. Culver's, welcome to Delicious. Tucson Electric Power is keeping you informed and will land on the go. With your smartphone, tablet, or computer, visit the outing center and map on TEP.com for live updates about local power outages. If the power's out, log on to TEP. Here we go, Tucson second half action.
Almost the start of the second half here. Seattle Sounders getting us underway, kicking from left to right in this second half, 4-0 up. Clint Dempsey and Oberfemi Martins getting us started. Dempsey with a hat-trick from the first half, Lamar Nagel with the opener. And just looking around, Matt, I don't think there's been too many, if any, changes for the Sounders. There's certainly been a couple of changes for FC
but
Tucson.
A couple for Tucson.
Yeah. Marcus Brooks and Clark Phillips, certainly two players that we've noted. And Mikel Pataya as well, number 9. Brian Hoyt has come on as well at number 4. So looking for a change of personnel and maybe a change of fortune as well. Mears scampering to make up ground. Ball in towards that near post and a little frantic. And it has gone out for a corner kick for FC Tucson. Second minute of this second half. Just a little toe poke into the danger area. I'll try and get some clarity on the FC Tucson changes. We're also monitoring the Sounders bench. That one to the near post. Hooked away. Pineda finds Dempsey. Martin's making the run. Peeling away. He's got the power and he's got the pace. Although not on that occasion. Good win in the air from Zira. Commanding in the central midfield there. Mears trying to slide roll pass to Marco Papa. Sebastian Pineda back to his keeper. Sweeping ball downfield. And Evans just watches that one roll out of play. Dran Berisha as well, number 22. We are slowly getting through the changes. Mears to Papa on this near side. Just teases Berisha into committing himself. Back to Papa again. Pineda. Good run. The overlap floated towards the penalty spot, just looking for somebody to race into that space.
Good recognition there from Tucson to put that ball into the area previously occupied by Leo Gonzalez. He makes that overlapping run. There's nobody there in that back space, but no forwards there to clean it up either for Tucson.
Mears, got some space. Papa, infield to Martins. Dempsey never shies away, does Clint Dempsey. He's always looking to make himself available. Dempsey again. Martins just got away from him. Four minutes gone in the second half. I'm aware that the clock that you'll be watching on MLSsoccer.com and SoundersFC.com may have stalled on us. I will keep you up to date. We are into the 5th minute of this second half. 50 minutes gone. And the Sounders are 4-0 up. That's the way it was at half-time. Pineda. Crossfield ball. Martins just trying to help it on to Clint Dempsey. Phillips rolled under his boot and out of play. Papa started play very quickly. Trickery from Marco Papa. Martins. Lamar Nagel just got away from him again. He's going to battle back and he wins it. Papa's on his outside. Just not the best of angles there for Marco Papa. And FC Tucson intercept. Just rolls out of play.
Kind of a hallmark there for Lamar Nagel, just unrelenting in his effort. And sometimes the quality's not always there for him, but he always makes up for it by sheer effort. Not to mention some pretty ridiculous athleticism.
We see what Ziggy Schmidt's looking to work here, whether he's playing his guys for an hour. Spilled by the keeper from Papa. Not fully cleared. Nagel. Green jerseys queuing up. And hooked away. I think just the power and the pace on that one caught Poblet off guard. And the FC Tucson goal, 0. Back to a 0. Dempsey. Martins. Strong challenge. The ball still with the Sounders. Tyrone Mears. Back to Evans. Chad Marshall. I'll try and knock on a different door. Sitting very deep at FC Tucson. Mears once again. Papa. Mears has carried on his run. That's asking quite a lot. Brian Hoyt wandering across to tidy up. And will there be a corner kick? We're getting a sense of different formation and different personnel for FC Tucson in this second half. Papa will deliver. Testing one for the keeper. Pineda battling there on the edge of the penalty area. A free kick, FC Tucson.
As an official sponsor of FC Tucson, Chapman Automotive invites you to visit all of their outstanding dealerships on Honda.
Away to our right-hand side, there's a handful of Sounders players that are warming up. We might get a few changes in the next few moments. Building through the middle. Phillips on this near side for FC Tucson. One of a number of substitutes at half-time. Next game for the Sounders on Saturday, as with all of the sides, play their second game at the weekend. That's another 8 p.m. local time, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Sorry, it's against Sporting Kansas City. Losing my way on the schedule there. So Sporting KC at the weekend for the Sounders. That is the late game here.
Good early look for them against Kansas City as well, moving back into the Western Conference. And even after moving into the Eastern Conference, somehow Seattle ended up with a pretty fierce rivalry against Kansas City, stemming mostly from the U.S. Open Cup final in 2012.
And we did hear earlier on MLSsoccer.com and SportingKC.com, Graham Zusi was talking to us during that first game and in fact said he may get some time on Saturday, may get 20 to 30 minutes. So Graham Zusi looking set for a return for Sporting KC. Dempsey. A 0 to Pineda. We're being told that Dempsey has not got a hat-trick. Matt? It's a bit of confusion reigning, but we'll go with what the officials are suggesting. We'll see if he takes the match ball at the end. Papa to a 0. Dempsey. Martins. Pineda crowded out. FC Tucson come away with the ball. Phillips scampering down this near side. Just checked in his charge. There's far too many green jerseys back though. And the pass was poor as well. Martins scampering through, the keeper spilled it again. Well, Bafemi Martins would be keen to get on the score sheet. Lamar Nagel and Clint Dempsey with 2 apiece, so just confirming that. Clint Dempsey not on a hat-trick. 2 for Nagel, 2 for Dempsey. Stephen Fry not had a great deal to do. And was alert to the danger there. Pineda to Martins. Turns away from his man.
Dempsey not happy with that ball, not happy with that contact, not happy with too much on that play.
And you can tell the senior players, Thierry Henry was very good. Didn't even have to say anything. It was just a withering look he would give the player who had had the temerity to send him a less than perfect pass.
After all he's done for you.
No chiding needed, just a look, a shrug of the shoulders, that Gallic shrug that was often given by Thierry Henry.
It's amazing that you can think about a league that lost Landon Donovan and Thierry Henry this year, and you almost feel like there's been a tremendous upgrade in talent. Adding David Villa, adding Kaká. So many top flight players coming in, that big draw names that really make this league exciting as we go into 2015.
I know there will be some home fans that will say, well, because the home team will look to promote the incoming team that's got the big name, and that's what you do. That's what you do. Fans want to see the best players. Fans will go and see the big names. They'll go and support their club, of course they will, but there's a big name in town. And there's a Kaká or a Gerrard.
You can say Lampard too, it's all right.
If there's a Lampard. But certainly there is plenty for MLS fans to get their teeth into this year. 20th season in Major League Soccer. 20 teams, 10 teams in each conference. Pineda drills that one in low, whipping that one in. Nice on the edge of the penalty area there. As FC Tucson bring the ball away once again. Trying to get something to get on this score sheet as we're approaching the hour mark. They've kept strong and solid since the interval. No further goals added. Little afters there from Marco Papa. There's going to be a yellow card for the Sounders man.
Marco Papa gets megged in one moment, and I don't know that he was happy with the play that we've seen so much coming from the pitch black jerseys. FC Tucson tries to have a little fun, and he wasn't too interested in that.
We've got a substitute keeper waiting to come on. For the Sounders.
Troy Perkins coming into the game now. He's bounced around. He was the MLS goalkeeper of the year earlier in his career, and now coming on for Stephen Fry. Wanted to get out there a little earlier than the referee wanted him to be out there. He'll get these final 30 minutes.
I think he was basically trying to make his point to the assistant or the fourth official. Look, I've got 60 yards to run. Let me get a head start. So that is the first change for the Sounders? I believe it is. given away by Gonzalez. Ricochet through. First touch for Perkins. Heavy from Obafemi Martins. Ozira to Martins. Holds off one challenge. Uses to turn as well, finds Dempsey, back to Martins. Papa takes it nicely in his stride. Now looking for Dempsey, just checked his run.
What a touch from Papa to get that ball under control. That last ball, you're going to see that come to fruition later in the year for him.
Keeping an eye on the Sounders bench just to alert you of any changes early on. As we see activity. Sometimes the hour mark is a telling moment. So red jerseys joining. Phillips with the deep cross. Looking for the acrobatics. Didn't quite come off. Papa, Dempsey, helps it on to Martins, back to Dempsey. Just changes the direction. That's the thing with Obafemi Martins, he's got such a wonderful low centre of gravity. Very difficult to get him off the ball. The great Diego Maradona was very much a similar vein. Short and squat and extremely well balanced. Papa with a chance here, he's onside, he's rounded the keeper, it's a tight angle. And too tight, in fact.
Yeah, good effort there from Papa. Maybe earlier in the game he's able to do a little bit better with that, but fatigue being what it is, and this being early in preseason here in the 64th minute with a shortened halftime as well. Fatigue catching up to him a little bit there.
Ziggy Schmidt has just taken his seat again. He's gone for a little wander down the touchline. Maybe some instructions to a few of the substitutes warming up away to them. I say a few, there's about 10 of them. That could be our worst nightmare coming true, Matt, when they all come piling on in about 3 minutes. Sitting deep, defending this healthy lead, the Sounders. Papa to Martins. Scampering forward though, the Sounders breaking. That's a poor pass from Obafemi Martins, trying to make amends. Papa comes to his aid. Pineda floating one downfield, but I think Clint Dempsey had already made his choice. He was checked and was on his way back a few yards, mindful of straying offside. This near side. In fact, the keeper is going to go long. Flicked on. There could be a chance in here. Gonzalez with some work to do, and he tidies up. And in the end, he does very well. The substitutes that have been warming up for the Sounders have returned to their seats, and there's a lot of activity going on down there on this near side as the Sounders look to surge forward. A lot of heart monitors, we can see those on, and now there are jerseys going on over the top. Kenny Cooper looks like he's going to be coming on very soon, number 33.
Good pickup for them last year in those summer months when Clint Dempsey was away with the U.S. national team at the World Cup. Good to have a guy with the experience of Kenny Cooper to come in and fill a role for you.
Kovar, I think, as well. And Jimmy Ockford are the three that are stripped off. In fact, there's more now. Kevin Passman He's number 77. I'm looking down the list. Chad Barrett, he's also got his number.
Andres Correa, the left back they signed out of
Martins goes down under a challenge. Dempsey cleared off the line. He was looking for his hat-trick. We prematurely gifted him one. Yeah, I think, Matt, you're going to have to run down the list shortly as they all come traipsing on. That I'll gratefully hand that one over to you. Pineda down the middle to Martins. Back to Pineda. Oh, Lamar Nagel got the full force of that one. A little late and a little reckless. And a yellow card. Dominic Papa with the yellow. We're looking at 7, 8, maybe 8 changes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe even 9. You ready for that one? Maybe boy. 9 changes coming up. So for
I was born for
fan,
these moments, Richard.
You're rattling off these as they make their way to the 4th official. The free kick, though, for Papa hits the top of the wall. And with some force. What you can't see at the moment is well, almost an entire fresh team coming on for the final 20 minutes or so. In fact, I told a lie there, Matt. There's 10 of them. So Perkins is already on as the keeper, so it's going to be a complete change of the outfield. 13, 7, 77, 11, 5, 21, 31, 20, 33. And where's the final one? Number 19. So fans will have seen for tonight the last of Clint Dempsey, Obafemi Martins, Marco Papa.
4th official is not going to bother with
all the
a
boards.
sign on this one. We're just
There
going to let them all in, all off.
It's like bringing on a special team, isn't it?
Be interesting to see where some of these guys end up finding themselves on the field. Looks like Jimmy Ockford's going to be playing right back, a 2nd-round pick just a year ago. Played for the New York Cosmos last year. Damian Lowe in at center back. Off-season, a knee injury last year kept him out for most of the year. Of course, Zach Scott entering now his 14th season in Seattle. He'll be playing long before you and I are done. At left back, Andres Correa from Colombia, young left back. Andy Rose in the midfield with Christian Roldan, their 1st-round pick out of the University of Washington. Kenny Cooper taking the right wing. On the left wing, homegrown player Aaron Kovar, who played 2 seasons at Stanford. Then at forward, Chad Barrett and Kevin Parsimane, who another coming off knee surgery. One who Ziggy Schmidt's been impressed with so far in preseason as he's worked his way back from that knee surgery last year.
Well, that's not what you want as FC Tucson. You've ridden out a bit of a second-half storm. 25 minutes, and then for the final 20 minutes they send on a fresh new team who look hungry. As Kovar was looking to deliver a few seconds ago, there were 3 Sounders players queuing up along the 18-yard box. Among them, Kenny Cooper.
Kenny Cooper, 75 goals in his career. Chad Barrett, over 50 goals in his career. Certainly got their work cut out for him over these last 20 minutes.
Andy Rose, Cooper. Back to Rose again on this near side. It's Ockford, Rose. Nice work there, some nice footwork from Chad Barrett. The heads go up from Barrett, didn't quite connect with that. You can see there's Another 10% energy level from the Sounders. And that's to be expected. Talking to Peter Vermees of Sporting Kansas City on Tuesday night, asked him where his team were in terms of pre-season. 2 or 3 games in, 60, 70%. So in other words, 50, 60, 65 minutes is what they've got in the tank. And that's what we've seen from the Sounders starting 11. Some more fresh legs, plenty of fresh legs on there.
And then in the second group, I'll let you finish with this.
Papa's done well to dispossess Barrett.
Within the second group, though, you've got a lot of guys fighting for first-team playing time. You've got to have that energy up high regardless of the opponent here over any amount of playing time you're able to get, and we're seeing that so far in the first minutes here for Seattle.
And as a head coach, you've got to be a little sneaky in the sense that, well, you're going to play one off against another. That's what the game is all about. You want competition within the roster. Well, let's put those on, and then let's put those on and see who's going to fight and scrap and want that starting place. As you say, there is a hunger. And you've got that competition. No shrinking violets. Four substitutions for FC Tucson. Danny Kirkland is coming on. This is Nick Miller. Evans Amani Chima is the number 12. And Jason Gaylord at number 3. So the last 17 minutes. 2 goals for Lamar Nagel, 2 goals for Clint Dempsey, 4-0 for Seattle Sounders against FC Tucson. Managed to stem the tide in this second half. And there's some hungry Sounders players on now for the final quarter of an hour or so. Pass the main. Gloomy in that far corner. It's a testing one for the keeper. He's got a bit of cover from his defenders there.
Correa couldn't quite get to that ball, bouncing into the sideline.
Barrett closing down, pressing in the final few moments. A few less jittery moments for the Sounders second half. A couple of little wobbles in that first 45. FC Tucson failing to take advantage, unfortunately for them.
Yeah, they've certainly kept this second group quiet. You saw a strong spurt from them to start the half, but Seattle's just done such a good job of keeping possession and keeping Tucson's possession far enough away from danger that not a whole lot to be said for Tucson here in the second half.
FC Tucson have got tests all the way through against MLS opposition. It's going to be a corner kick for the Sounders. Take on Real Salt Lake on Saturday. That's the 6 p.m. local time. And then Colorado Rapids next Wednesday. A 5:30 p.m. kickoff local time. Corner kick. Out swinging, floating, just hanging in the air. Phillips under pressure from A few weary limbs out there, even for those players that have come on second half for FC Tucson. It can be very tiring chasing shadows. You're watching the third and final game on day one of the 2015 Desert Diamond Cup on MLSsoccer.com and SoundersFC.com. Earlier today, a win for Real Salt Lake, a 1-0 win for them against New England Revolution. 2-2 between the Rapids and Sporting KC. The Rapids held a 2-goal lead at the break. They finished the game with 10 men. And this one has been, well, a little more one-sided. Okay, we've got another substitution waiting to come in here. It is Jose Maria Mieres of Paraguay. They've got a very international looking side, FC Tucson, looking down their roster. Jamaica, Colombia, Paraguay, Ghana, France, Italy, Colombia. So the Paraguayan joins the fray for the final few moments into the last 12 minutes at Keno North Stadium. And speeding things along a little bit, well blocked on the edge of the penalty area. I think that was Oxford. And they're away. The Sounders, can they keep that in play? No. Keeper wasn't quite ready for that, and dealt with it well. Brian White trying not to run into trouble. Well won by Oxford. Sitting strong, the Sounders. They'd love to get 5, maybe 6, but also as an exercise, Matt, we're talking pre-season. You want to show that you can defend, and you can sit tight, and you can be disciplined as this ball goes in dangerously towards that near post. And Hoyt will battle and scrap and fight, and will win the free kick. You also want to show the other side is that flair play that we saw in that first half from the Sounders, which we saw so much of that in 2014. But I think as you were alluding to in that first 45 minutes, they have been susceptible on occasions defensively. And maybe it's an exercise in sit tight. Don't give anything up, don't do anything silly, just be disciplined. And maybe that's what they decided to do second 45. And if you can break and you can get another few goals, then all well and good. But this may be an exercise in sitting and not conceding.
Not the foul you want to commit there if you're FC Tucson. Just giving Aaron Kovar, who's got such a nice left foot, that's really what got him signed by this team, is his delivery with his left foot. Giving him an opportunity like this, if Seattle's going to add in the last 10 minutes here, it very well could be from this play right here.
We're seeking a comprehensive approach to planning and wealth management. Please see our website at rnacpas.com.
Kovar then delivers, teasing one. And it's nodded over by Chad Barrett. Got a bit too much on that. And, over the top of the bar. Into the last 10 minutes then, here in Tucson, Arizona. The Desert Diamond Cup drawing to a close this first day. First match day of 4. 9 more games to come. And they will start again, or resume, should I say, on Saturday on MLSsoccer.com. And that is Colorado Rapids against New England Revolution. Barrett's through. One-on-one, just wide of the mark. Wonderful angle on that from where we're sitting. Always just bending away. The keeper just got his angles right. Barrett going for the far post.
Chad Barrett with a stellar year last year. Finished the year with 7 goals. And 2 very close opportunities there. He had the header on the free kick from Aaron Kovar and then missing just wide. Kevin Parsimane playing him in behind the defense and sharpen that up just a little bit, and you'll see why he was able to piece together so many scoring chances for Seattle last year.
That is the key as well, isn't it? When you're not regularly used, you've got to come on and you've got to be effective and you've got to bag goals and you've got to be a constant reminder to the coach that I'm here.
And he's such a workhorse too. He's gonna, you're gonna get that effort from him. And when he can pack that effort into a 20-25 minute stretch of time, he's all the more dangerous.
Trying to get the flick on. Barrett wins with sheer perseverance.
It's such a great debut for him last year in the season opener. Scores a stoppage time goal to beat Sporting Kansas City at CenturyLink Field last year. A great welcome to the team last year in Seattle.
Tickets for the Desert Diamond Cup on your way out this evening at the box office or from our mobile sales force. Tickets can also be purchased by calling 520-334-1115
Rose.
or by visiting
Back to Cooper.
shop.fctucson.com.
Seconds ticking by. At half-time, I don't think there was any doubt as to the outcome of this game. It was just a case of whether the Sounders would add to their tally. They've not done so far, as we're approaching the last 5 minutes. Barrett intercepts, trying to move the ball quickly. I think it's fair to say Ziggy Schmidt's side can expect a tougher encounter at the weekend. Cooper's making a run into the penalty area. Can he be found? He's just checked his run. Back once again. The keeper parries. It's only as far as Parsimane, and it's ricochets away. The Sounders coming back once again. Ockford. And again, Rose. Good footwork. It's now whether we can slide the ball through and the man stay on side. Some defending for Seattle to do. If you're Seattle, what do you take out of this game?
Well, you knew you were going to be able to get some of that creative magic from Clint Dempsey and the like in the first half against a PDL opponent. But like you mentioned, really defended well throughout the second half and took away a lot of those opportunities that we saw FC Tucson get but not be able to take advantage of. Really got to be happy that you were able to play really 2 different types of games in the first half and second half and prove successful in both. All that being said, I'm sure Ziggy's going to his biggest takeaway is going to be those first half errors that nearly led to goals for FC Tucson.
There's always something to be working on. They'll be back out on the training field. In fact, they've got a game for those that have got the legs, as we mentioned earlier. They've got a game on Thursday. Back on the training field on Friday. The coaching staff will look at the video. And this is when you're ironing out the creases. I was talking to some of the Rapids players after the game, about the 2-0 lead, and then they relinquish that 2-2 tie with Sporting Kansas City. And you know, they learn, they move on. This is pre-season. It's about ironing out the creases and hoping that you've ironed out enough come the opening game of the season. Into the last 5 minutes then. The Sounders heading to the top of the standings. Referee waving away. Calls for a free kick. Barsamate on the angle. Can he make it 5? Checks one way, and yes he has, through the legs. And it is 5-0 to the Sounders. And that was a quick break from defence to offence. And that's just put a nice little ribbon around this one. 88 minutes gone, and the Sounders are 5-0 up.
That was a combination that Seattle saw a lot in the preseason last year as well. Chad Barrett's just such a hard-working player, and he knows that if he does the work and gets the ball into the right area, Kevin Parsamane's going to be there, and he's a clinical finisher, and he proved that last year. And unfortunate to have that knee injury that he did early last year that wiped out his entire 2014 season. Ziggy Schmidt's been impressed with him so far, and how far he's come in that recovery. And there you saw exactly what this team liked about him so much to sign him last year.
Little rough from Kenny Cooper,
who might be the nicest human being alive. I'm sure he's going to apologize for that later.
Parsamane, what he did show was great composure. Could have taken the shot first time. Instead checked, came back inside and just picked his moment. 90 seconds to go then. The Sounders 5-0 up. Earlier today, Real Salt Lake beating New England Revolution. Well, they might not be finished here. Parsamane could be getting his second and a 6th, and yes he has. 2 for Nagel, 2 for Dempsey, 2 for Parsamane, and 6, a super 6 for Seattle Sounders.
Kenny Cooper gets that play started, just throwing the ball up the right side and letting Chad Barrett chase. He knows Chad's a hard worker. He knows he's going to get there, get to that ball. Centers it to Parsamane like he did from the other side just a minute earlier, and Parsamane, as clinical as he is, just puts it away.
FC Tucson have been up against a quality side tonight, a Sounders side that will face tougher opposition, but Ziggy Schmidt was using this, yes, as an exercise, but he wasn't looking at the opposition and thinking he was going to take it easy. Particularly, Matt, as we mentioned earlier, that starting 11 as strong as you could possibly field for the Sounders, certainly on the offensive side. All the big names out there.
And to think they're going to add to that group Osvaldo Alonso, who had groin surgery, missed all of preseason. He's going to miss maybe the first 2 games. Ziggy Schmidt said he's ahead of schedule, and that's another encouraging note for Seattle coming out of this game.
Well, a good job and a good night's work for Seattle Sounders. A couple of wobbles in that first 45 minutes, but it is a very tidy and a very comfortable victory for the Supporters Shield and US Open Cup champions of 2014. They have got their Desert Diamond Cup campaign for 2015 up and running in convincing fashion. 2 goals for Clint Dempsey, 2 goals for Lamar Nagel, and 2 goals for substitute Kevin Parsamane from here, from Tucson, Arizona, from the Keno Sports Complex. Thanks for your company. It's finished. FC Tucson 0, Seattle Sounders 6. Good night.